Hey guys, Kelvin here. Welcome to another training. So basically today here we're going to be talking about how to basically design a mobile app from beginning to the end. Since the classes started, we've just basically been designing just a particular screen or a particular web page. All right, so we'll basically design an entire app right from beginning to the end, so you know how basically these things work. Okay, so we basically are going to be working on a utility um, payment app, right? So an app that allows you to pay your GoTV subscription, DSTV subscription, um, buy recharge card, buy recharge card, buy pay for your subscription, you know, your internet subscription and the likes, right? Pay for your electricity bill, right? So without further ado, let's get right into it. So basically, first of all, start with our frame as we usually do. All right. The first thing, go to I'm using click on the phone. I'm using the iPhone 13 and 14 size, right? So we have this here. um so we drag this now. So our color palette we're going to be using is basically um you know a mix of black and a mix of orange. Okay, so remember in class we've already like designed it, so this is just like recording a video about it. So I'll just go and pick the colors from where I have already gotten where we worked on it before. So this is basically what we'll be working on. So I'll just go here, so I'll paste it somewhere here, right? So these are the colors we're going to be using. That's the first thing you need to do when you're working on a product. After you've created your mood board, you've gotten your inspiration, you've done your user flow and the likes, right? The next thing you do is always work with your brand colors. So we're going to be using these two brand colors, right, to design, right? So now this is not totally black, all right? So if I go to the rectangle and I open it up, so you can see this is not totally black, right? You can see the difference, the distance between it and the end, like total black, right? So let's say this like 60 or 55% black, right? So that's basically what it is. So sorry, I still have cough, right? Yeah, so that's basically it. Now we'll just click on our frame, right? First of all, add our layout grid. Okay, so choose columns. Our count is 5. Put it on center. Increase this to 40. Sorry, we usually use 55. Yes, we use 55. Okay, so then we zoom in, drag our rulers to make sure they fit in properly, right? Zoom in again, drag the rulers to make sure they fit in properly. So we have this. Now the next thing we do is we turn off the grid lines, right? Now we'll change the color. So this, we're using a dark mode, that's why we're picking this black, right? Then the major brand color is this orange. Okay, so we're using a dark mode, so you pick this color, right? So we just use our eyedropper tool and pick this color. Now once we're done with this, the next thing we do is sorry, so the next thing we do is we start naming our frames, right? So I said, once you start designing, you always name your frames. Okay, you always name your frames. So you name your frames so that people know, okay, this is the splash screen, this is the onboarding session, this is the home page or the home screen and the likes. Okay, so we'll double click on this label at the top here where you see this iPhone 13 and 14. So name this splash screen. All right, splash screen. um so the name of the app is going to be billing. Okay, so we just come in here and type billing, right? So we have that. um Next thing we do is we'll go to Iconify. We just want to get an icon we want to use for our logo, right? So I'll search for bookmark. I'll search for bookmark and get a bookmark of my choice. Let's say I pick this one. All right, change the color to white. Change it to white, and I have this. So I'll just put it somewhere here. Make it a little bit bigger than. Sorry, make it a bit bigger than the text, or let's say 25. So it can be something like this, or let's try 30. Okay, I think this works. Okay, this is perfect. So draw a circle behind it. We need to add a circle behind it, right? We have a circle behind it, and we pick that orange color, this orange color. So we have this. Now what we'll do is to align this horizontally. Now we have to select this, group it, so that we can decide to align them vertically, right? Then we group them again and name it logo. So you name your layer logo. So this is the logo. Okay, so now we can align it at the middle of the screen, right? That's perfect. So now you can also change the radius of your screen. That is a frame. Now this, the edge is here, you change it. Let's say we put it 30, so make it 30, right? Also, when you're designing just for aesthetics, it's thought that is very important. You also have to put your the kits, right? Like the iPhone kits, the notification at the top here, and that bar here. All right, so you just click. If you need it, you can go to Figma community. That's www.figma.com/community, and you would see, just search for iPhone notifications, you would see it. Right, so you get it there. Okay, so then the next thing is we duplicate the screen. Reason why we're duplicating, we want the same color, we want the same iPhone kits to be inside. We need the grid line and everything should just be intact. So hold your alt key and you drag. Okay, and sorry, I'm not supposed to delete that other one. So you just delete only this one, this logo part. So this is going to be onboarding one. Name this onboarding one, right? So give the name onboarding one. So just copy what we wrote here. We say recharge your phone at the comfort of your home, right? Give it a text, type your text and say recharge your phone at the comfort of your home. So you centralize this at the middle. Then next thing we need is the 3D icon, right? This 3D icon. So now to get this 3D icon, like I said, you go to Photoshop. Go to Freepik, www.freepik.com, search for 3D illustrations, right? 3D illustrations. Okay, once you search for that, you would find different types of 3D illustrations, right? So if you search, go through it, you will see the one we chose. So this was the one we chose. Okay, then when you download them, you take it to remove BG and remove the background. All right, so that's basically it. So we already know how to use remove BG. Okay, so that's that. So the website is remove.bg. So this is the website, remove.bg. When you do that, you upload your picture here and you can be able to remove the background, right? So I assume we already know how to use that, so I don't need to go through it anymore. Okay, so then the next thing we do, since I already have the picture, I would just scroll through and get the picture. All right, so this is the picture. I'll come here and paste. Okay, so we have the picture here, right? Nice. Then the next thing we'll do is basically to draw our line indicators. So we have something like this, right? Just the basic line. Click on it, you can make it thicker. So say 3, use 3. Then now you notice the edges here, they are just straight. You want this edge to be rounded. Okay, so you come to this place, you scroll and you see round, and you can see it's rounded. Okay, so you have this, then you duplicate, hold your alt and drag. So we're going to have three different indicators. So I'll duplicate this one as well. So this one is basically that way. Now we would change this one to orange. This one is indicating this is the active screen. All right, it means we're on the active screen. That means the first one is showing orange because we're on the first onboarding screen. If we go to the second onboarding screen, this second rectangle is going to become longer. All right, so we have that. Now we'll highlight all of them. So we highlight 3 of them and would create an auto layout for it. So the reason why we're using creating an auto layout for it is basically because it will help us when we're trying to swap we're trying to drag this one to the middle to show that it is the active one. It can easily switch rather than trying to adjust it and all of those things, right? So shortcut for it is Shift A. We'll use Shift A, and we have added auto layout to it. Make sure we align it to the middle of the screen. We have that. Okay, so what's the next thing there? The buttons, right? So we need the buttons. So the first one is going to be sign up. Right, this first button is going to be sign up. So we're going to use auto layout also for the buttons, right? So we just type the text and say Shift A, and it's going to create a frame around it, right? So then we'll add color to this frame. You can see the frame is an empty frame, right? You can see it's just entering anywhere, it's empty. So you add a fill. Once you click on fill, you see it's now white. Change it to orange. Now you have it. All right. So when you have this, then the next thing you do is basically to make the edges rounded. So let's put in something like 50, 50, something like this. We can decide to reduce the text to something around 13. Okay, and that works. So then we also need for sign up, sorry, supposed to click the frame itself. Also need for login rather. So type login. Okay, so we have this here. Now we select both of them. They need to be large, buttons that people can actually click, right? So they need to be buttons that people can actually click. So just adjust it. Then also now I'll group this and I want to align it to the middle. Okay, so then I'll also drag it down. It has to be buttons that people can click properly. Okay, so we have this. I think we can make them just increase the roundness just in case. Now right? So we have it here. Now the next thing we do is this is more like a call to action, right? Login, sign up. So both of them cannot be dark colors like having feel, right? One of them needs to tone down. It's more like they are competing for attention right now. So one needs to be an outline while the next one is a that has a background, right? So this login now, they are basically, we already have these customers with us, right? These are um regular customers, so they already know their way around. So logging in, it should not be a problem for them. But these are new customers, so this call to action sign up button is supposed to be this orange color. So this one, for this one now, would go to fill, we turn off the fill, we rather add stroke, right? So add stroke and make the stroke orange, increase the thickness of the stroke to 2, right? Then you also change the button color, I'm sorry, the text color inside our button to orange as well. Yep, so we have that, and there we go, right? The next thing we do is, so we basically created this, yep. So then next thing we do is the second onboarding screen. Okay, so we just, the next thing we do is to drag this one, duplicate it again. Now you notice when I'm giving my space in between, I always make sure in between frames that these are the same spaces. Okay, so now we change this text, change it to pay for your electricity bills, right? Then also the image, I just downloaded a picture that has to do with light bulb, so it just looks like electricity bills. Okay, so then come to this one, this one now, we'll drag, sorry, we'll drag from the layer here, drag it to the middle. Once you do that, it will switch here. All right, once you do that, it will switch here. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, so once you drag, it will switch, sorry. Now we have this, right? It's supposed to be 2, so we duplicate again, and this one is going to be 3, onboarding 3. What's the one here? So pay, easily pay for your cable TV. Okay, so we have this. Now we're gonna look for that TV, copy, I'll paste it here. Then we'll go to this layer here. Now we drag this orange one to the third place, so it can be on the third one. You see how easy it is. If I was to do it without auto layout, it would be very difficult. So auto layout is very, very important, right? So we have this, so we have this. Next thing we do is, so almost all apps, they usually have these onboarding screens, right? So it's just basically to display what your app is about, what it's capable of doing, yada yada, and that's basically that. And now you always have your login and sign up. Reason is because you should, some people don't find this interesting that they have to go through all of these 3 screens, so they'll just click sign up immediately. Okay, so another thing again, I notice, I think our texts, there are 2. Let's see it on the emulator. um Click on this, play. Let's see it. I'm thinking the texts are too small, they're a bit too small. I think they're a bit too small. Okay, I think it works, right? So we can just basically go on with it, Right, so we're done with that. The next thing we'll be doing is we would create the login and the sign up and login screen. Now, starting with the sign up screen, sign up, right? So delete all of this and leave just the, so do this and we type sign up. Okay, and take this up to 40, oh sorry, 30, centralize it somewhere here, so you can just say sign up, right? Then the next thing we need to do is to type first name and the likes, the form. So say first name, and we take the text down to 15, right? And we also draw a rectangle, okay, draw a rectangle, make everything rounded. Now notice we are working with dark mode, so everything we're going to do is basically to tone the colors down. All right, so do something like this and we'll give it a stroke. Okay, so we'll give it a stroke, and the stroke that is outlined is going to be orange. Right, so we have this, and there you have it. Okay, so we also have to look at it on our emulator just to make sure that everything looks good. Okay, so let's look at it on the emulator and make sure it looks good. Okay, I think it looks good. Okay, so it looks good. Group it, duplicate, duplicate one more, and duplicate again. So the next one is going to be phone number, phone number, email, then password. Now, why I said phone first name, phone number, email, password is, remember I said when you're building a product, right? I talked about this in class. So for those who are not in the class, that's why I'm trying to say this again. When you're building a product, you need to know the people you are building this product and the type of product you are building. Is it useful to the general public? All right, so this product we are designing now, this digital product we are working on now, is a utility payment app. What this app does is basically the same thing with what banks already do. From a bank app you can buy recharge card, you can do subscription, you can pay for electricity, right? So some people will tell you, why do I have to leave my bank app and come to this um app to do my subscription? All right, and that's the only thing the app does. So if you want to do something like that, it now means that you should, excuse me, you should find a way to make sure that less questions and answers that they have to, like they have to fill less information just so that they can use the app directly. You don't want to start adding so many information. So that's why we did just first name, um and that's that. No need for first name last name, because this is not an, like a serious app that someone is going to, maybe like, a fintech, actual fintech app that, oh, is really serious, that you need a lot of KYC, know your customer, right? So we're trying as much as possible to reduce the number of forms that they are going to fill, right? It's very, very important that you make things very, very easy for your users. Okay, so that's why we are using just only first name. So I'll double click and make sure I select this um, labels and make them align properly. Okay, so the align, move them in a little. I'm using my direction key to move them in, right? So we have this, looking nice. Okay, so then the next thing we do is we take this we take the sign up button, take it out. Let me take this one out as well. So the sign up, sorry, I'm trying to drag it out and it's giving me issues. Okay, so I've done that. So now the sign up button, while reusing it as much as possible, I tell you, always make sure you reuse your materials, more like the things, your resources, right? Always reduce them so that the developer don't have to make a lot of difficult decisions that they have to, you know um always check the button size, the radius and the likes, right? And it also helps for consistency. Everything is going to look uniform in the mobile app, right? So all the only thing I'm going to add here now is we're going to expand the button. I'll hold my alt so that it's expanding on both sides, and I think sorry, so I'll hold my alt, expand it on both sides, and we'll call it stop here, right? So we delete this one, we don't need this one, right? So the next thing we do is the login screen. So we just type login. So say login. um so this one now, all we just need is your email and password, right? So we need email and password. So I will just delete them because we're using auto layout, so everything. Oh, sorry, we did not create auto layouts for this. Sorry. Let me delete this. So when I created this, I supposed to frame them, select everything here and say shift A. Okay, please always use your auto layout, it's very very important, right? So I would click and drag, right? So now this one, we'll name it login. Okay, then also name it here login. Now the next thing we do is email and phone number. So because it's auto layout, I can delete and everything just remains the same. All right, I don't have to start dragging in and out. Okay, so we have this, and we'll change this to login. Perfect. All right, so the next thing we need to add is, let's say for instance this is the UX part, now the user experience. Someone can mistakenly, as a new user, mistakenly click login instead of sign up, and they don't have the credentials, the account credentials, to be able to log in. So they'll be looking for how to navigate back to sign up screen. So that's why you always see websites and mobile apps, they say already have an account, question mark. They will say already have an account. Then they when they ask you that, you say already have an account, log in. It means that, see, if do you already have an account, so you don't want to create a new account, log in. So this button is going to lead them to where they will log in. So we have to change that login button to um orange, and also underline it so that people know that it's more like a link, not just not just a text, right? So it will be here. Now you can also try as much as possible to make the text bigger, so make it 15. Okay, right. So we have this. Now the next thing we do is copy this. We come to login, we paste it also. All right. So then we also change this and say don't have an account. That is, you don't have an account, sign up. Okay, so we have that, so we know that we are cool. Okay, so the next thing we do is basically we can also add forget password. So if you forget the password, you know what to do. So just type forgot password. Right, so forgot password, put it somewhere here. Okay, so we have that, right? So next thing we do is basically we have to prototype this onboarding session. We are done with the onboarding session. Now you notice in mobile apps, when you download mobile apps, you notice, let's use Instagram or WhatsApp as an example. When you open the app, you notice that the Instagram logo will appear, then it will just stay there for like, let's say 10 to 5 5 to 10 seconds, then it will disappear and to take you straight to maybe the home screen or where it's supposed to be at, right? So that's the same thing we'll do here. So this splash screen will just appear for a few seconds, then after that it will lead us to this place. Okay, so we'll switch to prototype, right, on this panel here. Switch to prototype, and we'll just drag, because it's the entire screen that is supposed to move, right? So we're not like prototyping just something. We'll switch to prototype. So first things first, if I do that, let me expand my these screens, like the space in between the screens, so that we can see what we are doing, right? So I want to expand the space in between these screens. Okay, so let's just make it 150. Great. So now that we have expanded the spaces in between, what we need to do is we switch to prototype, right? And we click and we drag. This is our first um, prototype, right? Now this one is because it's going to be timed. After a certain number of seconds, it should disappear and start the actual app, right? So we're not going to say on click, because that means it means you have to click. On drag, it means you have to drag. While hovering, your mouse has to be hovering on it. So we just say after delay, right? After delay of few seconds. So let's use um 2000 milliseconds. All right, 2000 milliseconds. After delay of 2000 milliseconds, um it should dissolve, right, and it should navigate to this new screen. Then after I've done that, this screen now, remember that these screens are, you keep swiping, right? Sorry, remember these screens, you keep swiping, right? So once you drag and you swipe, it moves to this screen. You drag, it moves to this screen, right? So that's basically how it works. That's how you move, just like you're swiping through your gallery, right? So it's the entire screen you are dragging as well. So what you need to do is, now there's a caveat to this. Now I'll just show you two different things. If you notice, when let's say we drag the entire screen, we drag it to this place now. Okay, so we say instead of on click, we say on drag, right? On drag, then the motion navigates to is going to this. Then we'll now say moving instead of that dissolve we use or smart animate. We're not using any of that. We're not even using smart animate. We'll say move in. We'll now choose the direction. That is, it should go this way. Remember, we are dragging here, so this one is going to come, is going to follow through, right? So that is it, right? So we'll click on this, and that is it, right? So then the next thing also, you can decide to animate back to this other screen, right? And we also say on drag, right? On drag, but now the direction is going to be backwards, right? That is going this way to the right. All right, so now I just want us to observe what we just did now. So I'll click on play and allow it to refresh. So now you see how it's going to delay for few seconds, right? Can you see it just delayed for a few seconds? So let me start again. 3, 2, 1. It will now show. So that's basically how you usually see it in mobile apps, right? Now our animation we did is it will drag, you will drag it, and it would slide in. You can decide to drag it back and to slide in. But do you notice that when you do this, it's looking like the entire screen is covering this what we have here, right? So this animation, in as much as it looks nice, I just feel like it's not detailed enough, right? So it now looks like this is, it's not like, it's not sliding properly. Okay, I don't know if you get me, it's not sliding properly, right? So you can try as much as possible to change it. So what we will now do is we are going to be switching just the content, not the entire screen, right? But for the benefit of this lesson, we're just going to do this entire screen part so that you can understand this one. Then we would maybe talk about the other one later on. So what I'm proposing is we make use of components, right? We make use of component, we put everything here in a component and would switch it. So I think we'll try it in the next app we're going to build, because we're going to build like an exercising app, and we're going to also try that feature. So but let's just get acquainted with this one first. So we just drag, and you can notice this is basically how it works, right? So we're dragging this entire screen, and we're also dragging this entire screen, right? So also we click on this, we also drag this, so change to on click, say on drag, so on drags, okay, so it's going to go to this side, right? Then we can also say click on this add board, you drag it back to this place, and you say on drag as well, then this time is moving sideways, right? So we have this, and that is it, right? So then the next thing you do is all buttons will lead to what they say they lead to. So all buttons, if you say log in, they will lead to login. If you say sign up, they will lead to sign up. So login, you drag login to the login screen, come to the next part, login to the login screen, the next part, login to the login screen. Oh, so while I was doing that, I did not change. We were supposed to say change it to dissolve instead of move in, right? It's supposed to be on click, dissolve, right? So let me go and change the other one. So just click on the line. When you click on the line, you see the same instruction again. So it's on click, change it from move in to dissolve, from move in to dissolve, right? Same thing, you click on this, on click, change it from moving to dissolve, right? So that is it, right? So then for sign up we'll also do the same thing for sign up. Okay, so you double click. So let me zoom in so I can see what I'm clicking, right? So on sign up now, we drag and it goes to sign up page. So it says on click dissolve, right? Zoom in. So we have this one, so we drag it also, on click dissolve, right? So we drag to sign up, on click, navigate to dissolve. So we have that. Great. So now let's see everything we've done so far. Let me restart it. Shortcut is R, so count and it will open, right? So once you restart, you have this. After a second, it will take you to this, right? So now you can drag, can also drag backwards, can drag, right? The way you want, drag it. That's that. So you can also now say login, right? To take you to login screen. Now we've not linked this sign up, right? So if you say sign up, you also move. Well, we've not linked these buttons, these text buttons, right? So we'll now come to this place here, this login. You drag it to login, say on click login dissolve, um, double click, drag it to this one also. We say on click login dissolve. Yeah, so that's basically it, and that's it. So okay, so now let's come to this place and we click on login. So you can see now, click on sign up. Yeah, you can see it's taking you to where you want it to take you to. So that's it, right? So we have that. Now the next thing we do is the home page. All right, the home page. So the home page is where you're going to see maybe your wallet balance, um, pricing, and all of those, what have you, right? So let's switch back to design. Now this is the screen, right? So this is what we're going to be designing, right? So we'll just drag this one, we duplicate, we have this, I will say home screen, we have this. So sorry, so I will delete everything here. Okay, so for the home screen I usually have this, like, someone, like the profile picture of the owner of the account, right? The DP, then maybe is greeting you like good afternoon, good evening, right? And or we say welcome back, you understand? So we just use our circle tool, ellipse tool, to create a circle here, scale it down a little bit, have it here. Then you switch the fill. We want to add a picture inside, so change the fill, click on fill. You see where you see our solid colors, then you also have gradients. Now we'll change it to picture. All right, so we'll change for picture, image, choose image, right? Select the image you want to select. So select, look for an image to select. So we're going to make use of this image. Just click on it and it will load in a matter of seconds. So we have this, right? Now the next thing we do is use your text tool and say good evening. Say good evening. So we reduce the size to, let's try 15, right? 15. So you can even go as much as customizing this evening, that when it's evening it would show like a moon or something. When it's afternoon, it will show sun, right? So you can customize it. So let's just say moon. Let's see if we have an emoji. No, I want an emoji, not these are stick these are normal icons. I don't want icon, I want an emoji. Okay, so let me search my my keypad emojis. So let me search for moon, right? So something like this, moon like this. So I'll come here. So I need to create the and it's you know that this is just like normal charts. So I need to create it so that once I double click it works, right? So we have it. Okay, so I'll close this. Now I want to flip it to this other side, so I'll say shift H, have it like this. So I'll just come, I can decide to scale it up a bit, so I'll say 17, or let's make it 20. Okay, so we have this here. So then who are they greeting? We say good evening, Janice, right? So we have this here. There you have it. Okay, so now this one, you decide to group it as well. You group it, you group them. Then the next thing you do is you create your notification your bell icon. Yeah, more like the notification icon. So you do that. So let's go and create the notification icon. Yeah, so we go to use our plugin, go to Iconify, type on the bell, look for a sleek looking bell, the one that looks very sleek. Okay, so now let's choose this, drag it out. We have that. Okay, so this is it. Change the color to white, right? So we have it in white. Then the next thing we do is we create the notification that looks like, oh yeah, you have a notification, right? So we put the circles. I'll lock this chain. I want to reduce the size, so just take it down to like 10. So come here, change the color to orange, right? And we'll add a counter. We add a counter to it. Click on the text tool and we type, let's say we have 3. Select this. Let's reduce the text size to 7. Okay, so we have this, right? So now the next thing we do is we can decide to select this so that it aligns properly the way we want it to. Okay, so we have that. Now let's group everything together here. Okay, I think they're already in a frame, so we don't need to group it. Okay, they're already in a frame. Okay, so we have that. After that one, the next thing we do is to create like a card. So we have this card. And the next thing we do for after this card is, so this card is basically like, when you see where you see your balance and the likes, right? So that's basically what it is. Okay, so you can change the color of the card. Then the next thing we do is we type on it and say your balance, right? So then also increase the size of this to 12. When you do that, you centralize it, you move it up a bit. Then after that, click on your rectangle tool, right, and you drag behind. You have this, right? So we have this. Now the next thing you do is we make these edges rounded and you make it white. So make it white. Then we change the text color to orange, and there you have it. Okay, so now this one, you just group them. Also, you make sure you always, like, you are grouping stuffs. So now we have this. Then type, so you want to type your balance now. Let's say it's 37,000 naira. Okay, so now we increase this. The balance is usually big, make sure it's big, right? And you also add the kobo. So type this. So let's say it's 37,567 naira. Alright, so we have this. Now you can decide to add the naira sign, or most times they'll just put ngn at the edge, right? The way you have USD, so ngn. So but if you want to do the naira sign is not always on your keyboard, so you have to use a shortcut that we usually use. So mine is, because I'm using a Mac, is Control Command Space for if you're using a Mac. If you're using a Windows laptop, is your Windows and full stop. That's the shortcut. It will bring up a keypad where you go to symbols and you see the naira sign there. Okay, so we have that. Now the next thing you do is you should have the button that says withdraw and deposit or add money, right? So we type on our text and say withdraw. Okay, so withdraw. Withdraw 50, reduce this size to 15, and we give it a frame. So shift A for auto layout. Now no need for fill, just add stroke and make it white. Okay, then increase the thickness to like 2, no, 1.5. Then we make it rounded. Okay, so let's say 50, right? We have that. Then the next thing we do is just maybe like drag it a little, so we have that. Then this one, now we'll duplicate it, and the next one is going to be, let's say add money. Okay, so we do add money, add money. So after adding the money, clicking add money, now this button is going to be white rather than the outline that we just did now. So you turn off the outline, turn on the fill, right? Then double click to locate the text and change the text to orange. Okay, so the next thing we do is we add icons to it, right? add icons to it. So I think it was send. I searched for send, right, and I got this icon. So it's this icon I'm going to use. I'll just put it inside this frame, right, and then I'll change the color to orange, right. Then this, I'll double click inside of this add money is supposed to be, the arrow is pointing up, it's supposed to be pointing down because you are trying to add, take money, like bring money inside the app, right. So I'll just flip the arrow, shift V will do the trick, so to just flip it for me, to flip, to flip vertically. So I'll copy this same arrow, I'll just come to this place and paste it inside as well, then change the color to white, right, change it to white, then also move the icon to the side. So you see, because I'm using auto layout, the movement, I just need to drag, I just click and drag and it moves, right. I don't have to start rearranging. So auto layout is very important. So the next thing you do again is you flip it up, shift V again to flip up. That's it. Now the next thing we do is I think we're pretty much done with this part. Wait, I need to just delete this and make it okay. I think it's okay. Okay, so then this one now we can group it and make it at the center, put it at the center. This one also centralize this one too, just to make sure everything is looking nice, right. So then the next thing we have to do is, so you can go to Figma community and type card, right. So let's say I go to Figma community now, for example, figma.com/community. You type card, you're going to see different kinds of cards that are already there existing. Okay, so if you basically search for card, you would see like there are different types of nice cards, nice looking cards that you can decide to make use of. All right, so something like this, an example is this. You can decide to use this card. You see how it's looking really cool, and you don't need to like design it all over again. So that's basically what it is now. But for the benefit of this class, since we're doing this class, so we're just going to just basically create our own design, because this card is looking, very plain. Okay, so I'll just drag a circle. So I'm trying to create what was here. I might not get it exactly, but just something to make use of. So we just have this here, right. Now, remember when we're doing the fashion website, when we had to duplicate two rectangles, because one is going to hold the picture while the other one is going to carry color as the background. So it's the same thing we're going to do here. One is going to hold this, hide this circle, mask the circle, while the other one is going to carry the background. So click on this rectangle and duplicate, and we select both of them. Okay, now, right, the next thing we do is use as mask, right. So we have this. Now what we're going to do is, first of all, make this white, right, make this white. Then we also add our stroke, then we increase the stroke to 2. Now also make this stroke white as well, but the thing is, you come to this fill, reduce the opacity of the fill, only just the fill, not the stroke. Now reduce the opacity of the fill to somewhere around here, right? Then the overall transparency, this layer now, this one that I see 100%, it controls both the fill and the stroke together. So this, now we're going to reduce this one now to 35, right? Reason is because I want it to just be in the background. It shouldn't obstruct the text that is going on here. So we just let's try 20. So it can be 20. So I think the fill, I should change the fill to a darker shade, right? So I change the fill to a darker shade, and we have that. Then I'll just duplicate, drag it somewhere here, and that's basically it. Okay, so we have that. Now the next thing we do is, so I think I still need to reduce this so that it's not so much. So let's make it 50, 30. Okay, so it's there, but it looks as if it's not totally there, right? That's perfect. Now the next thing I would do is, so also I think this good evening is supposed to be medium, right? Then this one is supposed to be bold. Okay, so the next thing we do is, I would add another screen. So but first let's add the bottom, the menu, right? So draw a rectangle here, and we curve it, right? Now pick that, the color from this place here. I think we can use this, right? So we'll have this color, then we drag it up so it should be a bit longer. So we have that. So then the next thing we do is, so we just type home, we just have home, home transaction. Then the next one will be, profile, right? The next one will be profile. Okay, so select all of them, reduce this text to 15, or let's try 14, right? Then we remove the thickness to medium, right? So then we'll also take this to the side. So now we'll go and look for icons. You know this thing, they usually come with icons, right? So we'll go to Iconify and change. So look for home, type home, look for a slick icon to make use of, right? Let's say we use this icon. So we use this icon, right? So now let's make this, let's say 30. Okay, so we make it 30, this is 30. Then the next thing we do is we also get the icon for transaction. So transaction history just like to show your previous transactions. So we just say receipts. I think I like the icon that's we have for receipts, right? I'll click on that, receipt. So we can make use of this icon, the receipt icon. So I would scale this down. I'm going to scale this down, right? I'm going to scale this down. So now I'll also make sure the measurement for this is also 30. The measurement for this is also 30, and they're also on the same height, right? Make sure they're also on the same height. Okay, then this one also, make sure they're also aligned together. So we'll change this one to white, right? Change this one to white. This one, because we're on the home page, so we'll change it to orange, right? It shows that this is more like indicating the page you are on, right? So change this one to orange. Then the next one is going to be profile. Remember I said for consistency, if you started with an icon that has filled colors, that inside is filled, right? You can see everything here is filled. You don't have to start changing to outline icons. Like, let's say for example now, this one that is line, the inside is empty. You don't have to do that. You have to make sure you use the ones that the inside has colors, right? So I'll type person to get the icon I want. So I just drag this out. That's that, and put it here. Now click on this, change it to 30. So we have this. Then we change it to white. Change this to white. Okay, so make sure your alignments are still perfectly well. Okay, so then we'll group this. Once we're done, make sure you always group your like virtually everything you're doing, you always group them. Okay, so we have this. The next thing we do is basically we select everything here, and you make sure your alignments, the space in between, they are equal. Okay, after you've done that, you can decide to drag. Oh, sorry, this is also dragging, so you can drag this instead. That is the space in between. Hover around it, you see this red line, you can drag this. Then you can also take this here, sorry, you can, no, from this place here, then you drag so that it gets to the end part, so it looks perfect. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is we want to create our recent transactions, right? So say recent transactions, or we'll just say recent transactions, centralize, right? So let's say for our recent transactions we have a certain number of transactions. So now let's design this part, this, and since this and that section, sorry, we'll draw the rectangle here. I wanted to do something different, but we've already we're already working with something, so I'll just continue with that. So we have this, I'll make the edges rounded, and I'll use a very dark shade, and how did I do it in the other one? Let me see. Right, okay, so let me just basically go with the flow. So I'll use a very dark shade, right, so you can see and just know that, okay, yeah, is different, right? So let's say you recharged your MTN line. So let's say MTN logo, MTN logo. We'll go to this place. I just want to copy MTN's logo. Right click and say copy image. Come to this place here. I'll paste, reduce the size, reduce the size, reduce the size. Okay, so we have this. We have this, right? Then the next thing we do is basically to type the description of the transaction. So most times you see all those I think it's like 30 digits like 30 digits, right? The transaction number or something. So just say MTN VTU, that is virtual top up. Then they'll have one word number that is in it, right? So you just usually have something like this. Then we'll also type, okay, how much did you subscribe? Let's say 10,000 naira airtime. So 10,000. Okay, so to be like this. Awesome. Right, so we have here, so this, now we're going to highlight everything here, group it. So we group it, and the next thing we just do is basically duplicate. We duplicate this, keep duplicating. Let me zoom it out. Oh my goodness, I forgot, I didn't group it with the MTN logo. So let me Ctrl Z, drag it here. Okay, so I'll select everything now. I can group, right? I'll hold my alt, drag. We have this, duplicate. I just keep duplicating. Okay, so I'll select everything here and say frame selection. I'll right click and say frame selection. Right, once I frame the selection, so I want that when I'm scrolling it just scrolls. So I'll hold my control key, for if you're using Windows, you're using a Mac, command, right? I'll drag my frame, so this is where it will stop. This is where this transaction history will stop. Now say clip content. Okay, once I say clip content, it will clip what is there, right? So we have that. Now I will click on this frame, come to prototype and change it to vertical scrolling, meaning I can scroll it vertically, right? I can scroll it vertically. Okay, so that's that. So oh sorry, I've not linked this login button, so let me switch to prototype, link it here, link the sign up button also to this place. So now let's go to this place. So if you go click on login, you have this. If you also click on sign up, it will still lead you here, right? Then also, can you see this one that we did? So you can basically scroll, right? You can basically scroll. Okay, so that's basically what it's about. All right, so I think we're getting it real nice so far. All right, so the next thing we do is we are going to create a bottom sheet that when we say withdraw, it would pop up a screen where you can withdraw your money to. If you want to add money also, you know where to add your money to, right? So I think these buttons we can, just expand them a little bit so that they look real nice. So you can expand them a little bit. Okay, so we have that. So what we need to do now is we duplicate this. This is the one. This is the bottom sheet. So I'll name this bottom sheet 1. I'll call it bottom sheet 1, and I would delete all these things here, delete these ones here, delete everything. I'll basically delete everything because we don't need it. We don't need all of this. Then I would click on the frame, drag it down somewhere here. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is I'll zoom in. I'll say choose destination, no, select bank, something like that. What did I type at the bottom? What did I type in this one? Choose bank destination. Okay, so we can say select bank destination. No, let us say select bank. No need for select bank destination. All right, so we have this here. I'll make this 17. Okay, then take this to take this here, and okay, so we'd say bank name. Okay, so we have bank name. Click on the rectangle, let's input field, and I'll zoom in. I want to make the edges rounded. Okay, so the next thing I do is I'll reduce. So I need to just go and copy that color, the color we've been using all this while, right? Just use it, and then I also add the stroke, make the stroke orange color, right? Then also increase the thickness to like 1.5. Now I don't want the it to be entirely rounded, so I can just leave it this way, right? So then this name, the name needs to be smaller, so put it at 14. Right, so I'll just take this down a little bit. Now we have this, group it, then we'll duplicate and say, so and also say account number, sorry, account number. Then I'll click on this and say so we'll just say receiver, let's say Janice Oko. Right, so the receiver is Janice Oko. Now this one, we can turn this one, you can leave it white, you can turn it to orange since it's the receiver, right? Whichever one suits you. Then the next thing you do is you add a button. Right, now this button you can make it entirely rounded, there's no issues about that, right? So you can decide to move this up a bit so that it will give space for the button. So let's leave something like this. This one can move it up a bit as well. Right, so we have this. So now just maybe like this button can be send money. So it can be send money. We select this, centralize it. Yes, so that's it. So then we would group this like the button. Now this withdraw, when we click on it, it will take us to this, but it will not take us out of this screen. It will just appear on top of the screen and make this place dim. So it will dim this one in the background, right? So let's switch to prototype and quickly do it. Right, so we drag to here and say on click, right? This navigate to, now you change it from navigate to, you change it to open overlay, right? And on that open overlay, not dissolve, is going to be move in. Okay, and you also change direction upwards because it's moving upwards, right? Then now you choose the location. Where do you want it to, as it move, where is it going to position on this screen? So you position that is docked to the baseline here, right? So that's why it's by using this. If it's all those other sides, you do it that is docked to this side, but this is the baseline. So we have this, then we close it. So we have this. So once you click on so it will go up, but you notice it did not dim the background. The reason is because we did not set all those things, right? So I'll go back to the settings, come to this place, say close when clicking outside. That's if I click here, this one should go down, right? So click on it, add background. So I'll add background, and I'll increase the transparency of the background to 50. Okay, so now as I come to this place, and can you see it now, is dim, right? So, and if I click on this, it will go down. Now the brightness will come up. If I click on it to come up, and you have this, and if I click back, it will go down. So if I click on this, you can see, right? Then you can decide to add a button to it. Instead of clicking just that, you come to the frame, you create a button. On this button here, let's go back to design. On this button here, you can expand. You make the background orange, right? Make it orange. You can decide to just draw a line instead of going to look for an icon. We draw a line, right? Make it choose round, increase the thickness to 2 and 45 degrees. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, flip it, right? And you have that, right? So let's say we have this. So we have this, right? So I can group it, then also group this one. So basically create it that it looks really nice. Okay, so we have this. Go to prototype and say that once I click on this, close, it goes back to this. On click, goes back to home screen. Now it will move down instead of move up, right? And you have it. So now we'll click on this. You say withdraw. You've typed your number, you want to send the money. You click on it, it goes down. You click on it, it goes, you see. So it can also close it. Then if you click anywhere else outside there, you can also close, right? So that's basically it. Then now you can decide to create a side panel as well. That is when you notice from most times when you click on this, a side panel will appear by the side, right? So you can decide to do that as well. So I'll just add that before I end this video. Right, so I will delete everything here again. Then I'll name it side panel. Right, then I'll reduce the size to somewhere here. Okay, so this one now we can just decide to add few buttons. So we can say profile. Let me increase the font size so that we can see it properly. Increase to like 17. So say profile. Let's say settings. I don't know what else to put, so just put logout, right? Logout. Okay. So we have this. Tidy it up, tidy the space in between. So let's say we make this one orange, right? And I give it an icon. Go to Iconify, type logout. Choose my preferred icon. Choose my preferred icon. Select my preferred icon. So we have this. Now I can group it, right? So once I say, so I'll come to my prototype here and I will link this logout button. It will take me to my login page, right? So it will take me to my login page. Then so these logouts, you say logouts and dissolve, right? Dissolve, not moving. On click logout dissolve. Then if I click on this one, this icon, sorry, this face here, my picture, it will open this one, but it will not be navigate to it, to open overlay. Remember, this is just like a half screen panel, right? We'll say open overlay and we'll say not dissolve, we'll say move in, and we'll choose the direction to come to the right. Okay, so then to also say close when I click outside, add the background color when it's on, so type 50% transparency. So once I click on this, now you can see now this is it's moving to the middle, meaning here is visible, here is visible, because I did not specify where it should be. Can you see this place is in centered? You can see. So once I click the middle, check the middle, say top left, right, it means it will come to the, it will stick to the side of this screen, right? So I'll come to this place. Can you see it now? So once I click on this outer part, so I say I click on it to come to the side, right? So you can see it works perfectly well. So it comes to the side. So I click logout, it will take me back to the login page, right? I click on this, so that's basically it, right? So you see how it's pretty much coming out like an actual app we usually use on our day-to-day activities, right? um Whatever we do daily, right? So that's basically it. If you have any questions, you can send me a DM and I would respond to you as soon as possible, right? In next video we're going to complete the mobile app, and just try and practice this before the next class. Thank you. See you in the next video. Peace.